Hey y'all, my name is Samantha, and today I'm going to do an activity called Self-Esteem Pizza. This activity can be used with children ages 7 and up. It can be used with children that are younger than that, but I like for clients to kind of have a hands-on approach, and so I usually would say 7 and up so that they can write for themselves in this activity. Pizza is a pretty universal food, so I felt that this would be something that a lot of people could relate to and kind of understand what it is, and hopefully that would help them focus on what kind of struggles that they have, which is the self-esteem. This can be used for individual sessions or group sessions. And the self-esteem pizza encourages the client to focus on their strengths instead of their weaknesses. So just going further to talk about that, it talks about how we internalize our strengths. So this will kind of give the client a way to vocalize them and talk about them out loud instead of thinking about them on the inside, which can help them to better understand kind of what they're feeling and hopefully put more of an emphasis on the positive aspects of who they are as a person. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Amelia, and she is going to be in elementary school, and she's kind of had some problems with bullying and her self-esteem. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So hi, Amelia. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm glad that you're here with me to talk and kind of get to know each other a little bit better. I know that this would be our second session, so we still are kind of figuring out who each other are. Kind of just wanted to ask you how things have been since we've last seen each other.
They're fine. I'm still new at school, so I haven't made a lot of friends.
And what's that like, not having a lot of friends?
It's lonely, and it's weird, and I miss all my old friends and how things were back in my last town.
What were they like before?
We were all just funny. It was me and two other best friends, and we had each other. And here, everybody already has their best friends.
Okay. So it sounds like it's kind of hard for you to meet people and get involved, and when things have already been kind of established.
Okay. Yeah.
Have there been some ways that you've tried to reach out to some of your classmates?
A little. I guess I could try harder, but it's just I'm shy. And I get scared that they're going to say no.
Okay. What would it be like if they said no to you? How would that make you feel?
Sad.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't want to try again.
Okay. So it sounds like it would kind of bring back some memories of missing your friends because you'd be sad because you would want to be a part of what they're a part of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what about outside of school? Have you met anyone in your neighborhood, or have you been involved in anything else besides school?
No, not yet. I'm signed up to play soccer, so hopefully I'll make friends there.
Yeah, that's a great way to meet people and hopefully get involved with a group of friends and establishing relationships in your new place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good. Well, it sounds like you're very aware of what's going on, and you're wanting to try and do something different and hopefully improve your new situation and everything, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I kind of have a silly question to ask you. Okay, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you like pizza?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is called Self-Esteem Pizza. Unfortunately, this is not a real pizza, so we can't eat this afterwards, but hopefully we can kind of go through this and it'll make you kind of a little bit more aware of what's going on and your feelings, and we can kind of talk about that. How does that sound?
Good.
Okay. So what are some of your favorite things to put on a pizza?
I love pepperonis and green peppers and mushrooms.
Perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to paint the bottom of the pizza, and so you can choose whichever color you would like.
Paint the whole thing.
You can paint as much as you want. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have a big sister and a little brother.
Okay, and what are they like?
My sister's mean.
How is she mean?
tells me I'm stupid.
Why are you laughing?
Because I don't get to tell anyone that she's mean, and because everyone finds out, and then she'll get mad and be even meaner to me.
Okay. What are some things that she does?
Well, she likes to call me stupid in front of people, and she makes fun of my reading because I don't do it very well.
Okay. Have you talked to your parents about that at all?
Yes.
What do they say?
My mom makes it worse because Emily doesn't like it when I get her into trouble. Mm-hmm. And my daddy tells me sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But they still do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you don't really see it the same way your dad does, right?
Right.
What about your brother?
I love my little brother, and I try not to be mean to him like Emily is. Okay. But he can be really annoying too.
So it sounds like even from kind of a tough experience, you've been able to learn something from it and treat your little brother the way that you'd want to be treated.
I hope he feels that way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay, so now that you've finished painting the pizza, we're going to choose your toppings. And so here are some pens that you can write. And so what we're going to do is on each of the toppings, you're going to write either a strength, a proud moment, or a talent that you have. But before we get started, do you know the difference between a strength and a talent?
No.
Okay. So a talent could be that you're good at drawing. Mm-hmm. But a strength would be that you're creative. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So some examples of strengths could be that maybe you're a leader, mm-hmm. that you're kind, you're honest, you're funny, okay. You're smart. So whichever topping you'd like to start with first. And you could, like I said, you could write either a strength or maybe a moment that you had or an accomplishment. Okay, so what does that say?
Good at softball.
Okay, so I know you said that you talked about getting involved with soccer, but are you going to try to do softball as well?
Softball doesn't happen until spring, so hopefully.
Okay, perfect. And so what we can do is you can take the glue and you can glue it onto your pizza. So that would be a talent that you have.
Okay.
What about a strength?
I think I'm funny.
Very good. Do other people think you're funny?
Most of the time.
Do you have any good jokes?
Not right now.
Not right now? Okay. What about a talent? Besides sports, what's something else? Do you enjoy anything in school, any subject, or?
Pretty good at math.
Okay. Can write that down. It's looking like a good pizza so far.
Yeah, we don't have any real pizza though.
What else do you think? What about another strength besides funny?
Adventurous.
Okay. What type of adventures do you like to go on?
Like running around at recess, and not just sitting in the grass, but maybe going on the monkey bars and hanging upside down and things like that.
Yeah. So when you do that, do you talk to other people that are on the monkey bars?
I used to, but a lot of times when other people are running around, I think that they're already in other games, and I don't want to interrupt, so I just stay to myself.
Yeah. Well, that's really nice that you don't want to interrupt, but maybe, we could work on you being able to get there when things start, and then you could kind of be more involved in that. Does that sound like something that you'd want to do?
Yes. Okay,
good. How about two more? So what about one more proud moment and another talent? Is there something that you've done maybe with your family or somewhere you've been?
skied down a blue square, and that's harder than the easy green ones.
Okay.
Which one is that? Is that the talent?
That, yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so one more. I'm going to pick the pepperoni.
Always need more pepperonis.
So what's something that maybe no one else knows about you? Maybe you don't get to share it as much with people.
That I am not selfish when it comes to my friends.
That's a really good one. And you don't think people know that about you?
I don't think anyone here knows that.
Okay.
I think my little brother knows that, but my sister would say differently.
Okay. So, what are some ways that you would be able to show that to your friends at school?
I guess if I see anyone else going around alone, I can reach out to them.
That's a perfect example.
And continuing to try and, while I like to be funny, I don't want to make fun of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way too.
Absolutely. So it sounds like even through some of the struggles that you've had, you've learned a lot from all of that. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about this activity? Was it nice to kind of talk about some of your strengths and things out loud with someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Does it kind of help you recognize?
It does. I kind of forgot that I do have fun when it comes to math class, and that recess can be fun even if I don't have anyone or the same people to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we end our session today?
I guess I just don't know how to make friends with everyone.
Okay. Well, how are some of the ways that you made friends with people at home, where you're from?
I just kind of always knew them.
Okay. So now that you're in a different situation, you're going to have to kind of adapt to what's going on in your new place.
Mm-hmm.
And so, are you comfortable with, it sounds like you said you're adventurous, so maybe going up to someone first and not waiting for someone to come to you. Maybe involving yourself in any of the games that they're playing, or in math class, if you enjoy math, maybe asking someone to work with you, or being funny, maybe tell some jokes. You think that would work?
Maybe. I can try.
Yeah, and then maybe you might not know some of your classmates that have the same strengths and talents as you do, and then y'all could share those together. So that's kind of what I'll ask you to do for the next week, is maybe try to meet some new people in your class and introduce yourself and see if you have any common interests. And then the next time we meet, we can talk about that. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do that.
Good, I'm glad. Well, thank you so much, and I will see you next week.